Okay, welcome to the Blueberry Funded Trader Spotlight, where we sit down with some of our most talented traders in the community and dive deep into their journey, strategies, and experiences. So, whether you're an aspiring trader or a seasoned pro, these conversations aim to give you real insight into what it takes to succeed in the prop firm space, and specifically with Blueberry Funded. So today we're joined by Akshat. So Akshat, great to meet you. Great to have you on the call. I'm very keen to have a good conversation.
Yeah, I'm glad to be a part of the Trader Spotlight too. I'm looking forward to have a good interview with you.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I guess just to dive straight in, can you tell us a little about your trading journey and what got you into trading originally?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I have done my graduations in maths. I have done maths honors, and after that, I proceeded to work in the insurance field, basically the finance sector only. So when I got there, I got the exposure to markets, and we used to talk a lot about fundamentals and what drives the markets up and down. Around 2021, I started trading and investing in the Indian stock market, just cash shares and all. Then I moved to the futures and options, and that's when I discovered the real like volatility and what day trading or swing trading is like. So my journey started with Indian stock market. I was an Indian stock market trader for almost 1.5 years. I read a lot of books by Indian stock market authors, and basically I never felt I would move on to forex trading and prop firm space. But one of my friends used to trade in forex and prop firms too, so he introduced me to this side of trading. And when I saw the prop firms model, I was a bit skeptical as to how can someone provide such a huge account size with such a small fees. But then I realized passing the challenge phase is a really, really difficult thing to do. So I started with just making an account on a broker, not prop firms right at first. But back in 2022, at towards the end of 2022, I started with some prop firms at that time, a couple of prop firms. I failed my first 4 to 6 challenges, I guess, straight in line. None of them were passed. But then I slowly moved on, and you know how they say, like when you clear your first one and get a decent payout, you get basically everything back, all that you have lost. And that kind of like flipped the switch for me. Like if I can make prop firm trading work for me, the ROI would be just unmatched. Like nothing else could match it. From then and there, I started focusing my attention and all my energy towards prop firms passing and eventually reaching a payout stage. So that's the summary of my trading journey for you.
Fantastic. It's quite a journey, and it's a story we've heard a few times before of traders starting off with stocks, going into options and futures before then landing on forex. And like, as much as they're all completely different asset classes, it's all part of the journey of understanding how markets work, how buyers and sellers interact, and that knowledge does have a halo effect that continues to grow as you move into different kinds of trading. So, what trading strategies do you usually implement? What sort of process do you take when it comes to trading and trading prop challenges?
So, like I said, during the first 1 and 1.5 years of my trading in Indian stock market, I read a lot of books by Indian authors. So, my favorite book is from someone called Ashwini Gujral. He was a brilliant stock market trader, and he has written 4 books. So, one of his books is How to Make Money in Intraday Trading. It's right there in front of me right now. So, basically, I learned all the technicals from his book. I learned everything from there, and to this date, like from past 3 years almost, I've been trading on the same thing, and that is the floor pivot point. So what I usually do is, not usually, what I always do is that after the week closes, after a week ends, I use the candle close, candle high, and candle low to plot the pivot points for the next week. And based on that, I make my trading decisions. Not solely on that, I apart from that, I also use the 20-day moving average line and the 100-day moving average line, and not just in one sense. It can be used in a multiple senses. So for the volatile instruments like gold and BTC and GBP JPY, I use the pivot points and the central pivot range, because what pivots does is it helps you filter out the noise, all the noise that you can see in the charts. Pivots help you really like minimize it as much as possible. So for the volatile instruments, it makes sense to minimize the noise so that you can make better trading decisions, And apart from that, for other currency pairs such as GBP USD, Euro USD, and AUD USD at times, I simply use the good old support and resistance zones to make my trading decisions.
So your trading strategy mostly relies on pivot points, support resistance, very stable, classic swing trading setups for finding direction and capturing profit in the markets. What's your approach to risk management like day to day when it comes to your trading?
Yeah. So, see, it's really common in the trading world to have a very solid and a very rigid risk management plan that you should always stick to no matter what. But I think that I assess my weekly performance or my monthly performance and then decide how to proceed further with the risk management. So, for example, if there's a really good month of trading where I have gotten 2 to 3 payouts and it has exceeded what I have planned, so in that case, for the next month, I might take a bit of a bigger risk, not too much. So for example, on funded accounts, if I usually take 0.5 to 1% risk per trade, I might increase it to 1.5, 1.75, or even up to 2%. No more than that. So it basically depends on how well I'm doing and how my equity curve of my total investments and my total profits is moving on. There can be some situations where I face a couple of months where my performance has been really bad. So in that case, I don't think I'll be able to swallow big losses like like risking 2% per trade. That would make me very anxious and very restless while entering a trade, and we don't want that to happen. So in that case, I'll risk very small, even up to 0.25%. So that I like to play around a little bit. But once I decide something for upcoming week or upcoming month, then I have to stick it. I can't change it in between.
Okay, so it's about being dynamic. It's about changing as you go based on the market, based on your performance. And look, that kind of makes sense because I think sometimes we look at risk management on a per trade or a per setup basis. But sometimes it's good to look at it on a per month basis. You've hit a risk limit, you've sort of set those limits for your overall performance or your equity change in the account. And then essentially that's going to stop you from trading, or it's going to impact how you then risk on the next trade. If you've had 10 losses in a row, like sometimes it's good to analyze it and say, okay, if I have a certain loss limit in a month I'm willing to take and I've lost this many trades in a row or something like that, that's going to impact how you're then going to manage risk on the next trade. Like some people will say, I only ever risk 0.5% per trade, or I only ever risk this. And look, that can work. That can definitely work in some strategies, but I think it's not about being dogmatic. It's not about never changing what you do. It's about analyzing the situation, the markets, how your performance has gone, acting accordingly. I
Yeah.
think that's really interesting to understand that it's very much a dynamic, ongoing change in risk management strategy that you employ. But once you choose how you're going to manage risk, you do stick to it. And I think that is the important thing. It's variable in approach, but rigid in commitment. And I think that's what every
Yeah.
trader should be striving towards doing. It's the best of both worlds. I
Yeah.
guess when
Right.
it comes to prop trading, I'm not sure. I mean, you've told us how long you've been prop trading for. I'm not sure how many firms you've worked with, but I guess my question would be, what made you choose Blueberry Funded? When it came to taking a prop firm challenge.
So basically, recently only we saw in the prop firm industry that the broker-backed prop firms were coming up. So I knew about blueberry markets for quite a long time when I used to do only trading on a broker account. So from there I knew the name of blueberry markets and IC Capital and Oanda as a broker. So when the when the broker backed prop firms came into business, I was really keen to try them out. So then I started, I don't jump into a prop firm that quickly. I see their Instagram page, I see how well uh, they are doing, and I talk to some people who are there in the prop firm industry for their reviews and everything. You go to prop firm match, Trustpilot. You have to do a lot of research before choosing a prop firm. So after like my research in all the broker backed prop firms, I saw that Blueberry was clearly standing out, and they have a good impact here in India as of now, as we all can see from the Instagram and the community. So that's what made me choose Blueberry. I think I took my first account last year in October. I wasn't able to pass that one, but like from this year's March, I have been with Blueberry consistently, and I plan on doing so.
Let's pause here for a moment. Just as we wanted to thank you for taking the time to watch this podcast, we're going to be giving one lucky winner a 25K two-step account. In order to enter, please put a comment below with your favorite part of the interview and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get back to the podcast. Thank you for watching. Fantastic. I mean, we always like to ask to sort of get that feedback and understand what it is traders like about us and maybe what they don't like about us and if there's anything that we can change. And, really a lot of our product roadmap is always built up of user feedback. Like we've yet to have a sprint or a quarterly planning session where we've just brought up a random idea from our side. We're still playing catch up with all the great feedback of what future development traders want to maybe change how we do things or add new things to how we operate. And so we still have a lot of exciting things ahead of us. I guess, I'm not sure if you trade full time right now or part time, but I'm curious what your goal in trading is and, what your aims are in prop trading or really any trading over the next few years.
Okay, so right when I started the Indian stock market trading, I was a bit keen and curious about how the big money works, how big money trades in the stock market and in the equity markets. And I was studying about CFA at that time because I wanted to get into some kind of an asset management company or maybe some kind of investment banking company so that I can experience trading on that level. But after I discovered the forex and the prop firm industry, my view changed a little bit. I wasn't in that uh, scope anymore where I would like to work for them. Now my aim is to firstly become a really good independent individual trader, and I don't think you can call yourself a profitable trader unless you have like almost 2 years where you have been consistently profitable. At least that's the benchmark I have set for myself. But apart from that, I would still want to, sit amongst good traders with a with a good team, and have that kind of exposure with the big money, and trade for someone, uh, for some company or some group or anything like that. So I will discover that in my upcoming years and move accordingly.
It's really sound points that you're making here. I think talking about, and I made a post on X about this the other day, and I really believe in it. And consistency over 2 years, having a big track record of consistency over multiple years is really important. A few payout certificates, as much as that's a great start and that's something to aim for and to achieve, is just the beginning. It doesn't tell the whole story because a lot of the time people get a false sense of confidence from getting a few payouts in a row. Really, 90, we all know 95% plus of traders lose money in the long term. That long term is based on, sample size. We're really looking at 9 to 12 months on average. You will see that play out over. So getting good trading in for 1 or 2, 3 months in a row, you're and then saying you can deliver long-term performance. It's like calling a horse race only one leg into the race. Whoever's winning in the first leg usually doesn't end up winning like a horse race or most sort of, sporting events at the end of the day. And that's something I always say to people is a few payouts doesn't equal long-term success. It sometimes can measure short-term luck, or again, you have a strategy that works for a few months, and when the market dynamics change, your strategy no longer works. So it's important for traders to understand that and not let a few payouts get to their head. And it's important for other traders on X that are trying to, or just online trying to learn from other traders or mentors or course creators to understand that a few payouts doesn't mean that person necessarily knows what they're doing. It's about the consistency long term. It's about the fundamentals. And you can start through just looking at a trading statement. You can look at it and know, are they going to deliver long-term success? Do they have all the right metrics, the right numbers there that are going to back a long-term consistent strategy, or did they just get lucky? Because the only thing more dangerous than a lucky trader, I think, is a lucky trader who doesn't realize that they were lucky, because that leads to
Yeah,
accounts blowing up. It leads to misleading other people. And that's very dangerous for the trader and also for this industry. And we're trying to curb that here at Blueberry Funded with the rules we put in place and, encouraging sustainability. So it's something I love that answer because it definitely agrees with everything that we're about as a prop firm. I
Yeah.
guess just to finish things up a bit, what advice would you give to traders looking to pass our challenges? I mean, we have some very specific rules. We make no secret of that. We do that to encourage risk adjusted, long term sustainable trading. But I guess based on your experience, trading with us and other prop firms, what advice would you give to people that are wanting to sort of be successful with Blueberry Funded?
Apart from the generic advice that we can get from everyone, like, risk 1% in order to make 2%, and then you need just five winning trades to pass the challenge. If it was that simple, everybody would be able to do it. Firstly, I would recommend every trader out there who is a beginner or an intermediate to, stay as far away as they can from all the Instagram and the YouTube noise. As a personal individual, I really don't like it at all. I have always relied on books because if someone has written a book, you are much likely to get valuable information out of it than a 30-second reel or a 10-minute YouTube video. That's something that will always stick with me. So go for books. You will definitely learn something very much valuable, and if you apply it, it will definitely make a difference in your trading, whether be it about passing challenges, making profit on a funded account, or simply trading on a broker account. First thing would be that. Second one, the most important one that I have felt over the years is that the more you can control your impulses, whether that impulse is right before entering into a trade or that impulse comes up once you are in the trade, the better you can control your impulses that makes you do things that you will regret later, the better off you will be in your trading. It's very easy to, get a plan, even write it down, like I'll risk this much percent or that much percent. But if you are not able to follow it, if you are not able to let your trade run towards your TP, your target take profit, if you are cutting it in between because of fear of losing the profit into the market and all the impulses that basically disrupts your trading plan to just even 1%. So if you can control them, if you can, take five deep breaths, or like personally, what I like to do is that when I'm getting a brain fog, and I'm getting weird impulses, it happens almost twice a day when you are trading two times a day for 3 4 hours. There is a time when your brain get foggy and everything. So at that time, I just like to switch off the monitor and just go away from my trading desk and basically do anything for 5 minutes that physically challenges me, be it simple push-ups or maybe a brisk walk or anything, because I've been an athlete for past 8 years. So like the physical side of me helps the mental side of me. It's opposite for me. So if you can control your impulses and if you can be in control like most of the time, that is going to really help you. It sounds easy, but it's very difficult to do.
No, this is really good because I think we don't talk about this enough. When I started out in trading, books were everything. And if you did do an online course, it was a very long one. That might take weeks or has one-on-one sessions, things like that. The problem is now that there's so much information out there. One, you don't know who to follow. You get analysis paralysis, and secondly, because of that, that dopamine addiction, I think everyone's developed with social media and algorithmically driven social media the last few years. We want to just see a reel where someone's giving us some advice we can use in the space of 10 seconds. And that's dangerous because you're going to go from one reel to the next, one strategy, one idea, one signal, another one. And you're just going to get so much noise, you don't even know which one to hone in on. Now, if you sit there and read a book, 2, 3, 400 pages, now I'm not saying that book is the best strategy, it's going to be 100% correct. But the thing is, you are going to learn that strategy from back to front. You are going to know it all a lot more in depth rather than seeing someone teaching an ICT setup on a 10-second reel. At least you've put in the effort and the time to learn it in depth so that you can question if it's even right or wrong, or you can actually employ it, or you use exercises from that book in your trading day to day. And likewise, like you said about resisting impulse and taking time out of your day, it comes back to the same thing. It's, I think, in the same way that we try to get a really quick return out of social media to teach us about trading, we want to get a really quick return out of the markets too by trading a few minutes a day. And and unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. It's something that takes a lot of dedication, a lot of deep learning, and something you shouldn't become addicted to in that sense and looking for short-term returns. So there's been some really great knowledge and advice in here for a lot of traders, and it's been a really good discussion. So look, it's been really great to speak to you today, Akshat. I think a lot of our viewers are going to get a lot out of this, and there's a lot of sound advice. And I'm really excited to see how your trading journey continues, hopefully with Blueberry funded, continually, with some more payouts, and maybe we can even get you back again in the future. But did you have any final words or anything you wanted to say to the people viewing?
I first of all, I would like to thank Blueberry for giving me the chance to be in the trader spotlight again. I am very glad to have this opportunity, and I do hope to stick with Blueberry Funded because there aren't much honest prop firms, as we all know. There are a very limited number of prop firms that are doing honest business and actually caring about their traders. So, fingers crossed. I hope to stick with Blueberry Funded. And as my final words, I would like to say that trading might seem to be like I the loop that I see people getting into is trading might seem to be an easy thing to do because it's literally a one man job. I don't think there's any other occupation or any other thing in the world that is a one man job where you don't have to talk to anyone and you can make money. So, like, that's what attracts the people the most, but that's not the true gist of trading. The true gist of trading is like utter discipline, top most level of discipline, and literally changing the whole way your brain wiring works. You literally have to like get inside your head, break those strings, and build new ones if you want to be successful in trading. So it's not about making quick money. It's not about like getting rich quick, or don't get into it if you are like, I'm an introvert, I don't have to talk to anyone, so I can make this happen and I can get rich in 1 or 2 years. It's not like that. It's a discipline and it's a mental challenge for at least a decade. That's what I feel if you truly want to make it happen.
Fantastic. Again, very sound advice. I think everyone can relate to. And yeah, I think I'd be very keen to see some comments or some feedback in the comments section about what traders think about that. Did you have any socials or anything people can follow you on, or are you heads down in the books, off social media and avoiding the noise?
No, no, I do have my socials, but like I said, I've been an athlete for the past 8 years. So my Instagram is based around bodybuilding. I am a natural bodybuilder also and a competitive bodybuilder. So yeah, I do. I would like to share my socials and people can, reach me out there and talk to me there if that's what they want.
Awesome. Yeah, sure. Feel free to send those through, and our team are going to put those down in the description. So if anyone wants to follow Akshat, get updates on all things, being an athlete, bodybuilding, and maybe even chat about trading, all
Yeah.
of which do interlink. I think a lot in terms of psychology. Traders can reach out to you there. But again, thanks for joining the Trader Spotlight. It's been really great to talk to you, and look forward to seeing how you go in the future.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Marcus. And thank you to the entire Blueberry team for this opportunity.
No, it's been our pleasure. Thank you very much.